Hey guys, Dan Hood, Big DH 2000 here. Thought I'd tell you a little bit about this design I'm now making. Um, Jeremy Tyler has affectionately named it, or most of you know him as JT Slinger, has affectionately named it the Stealth Shooter because it comes in black. But anyway, to explain a few things, a lot of existing slingshots influence this one. For example, you can see the Ocularis plugs, which are a registered trademark or copyright and all by Simple Shots. Simple Shot, Nathan Masters. I always appreciated the fork gap of the Maxim, but I didn't much care for the length and some of the shaping aspects below that. So a lot of the top end is like an Ocularis Maxim, very similar. There are differences. People get hung up on subtle differences. I don't. I just say I like this shape. I went more for the Ray shot influenced the height a lot. I always appreciated the fact that Ray always made his slingshots with a wider fork, but very short, very compact. And that's kind of what I did with this one. I made it pretty compact. I pulled it up, squeezed it in. You know that I'm an ergo freak. I make everything ergo, so you can see that the handle is ergo. Okay. I've also rounded all the corners. This is not simply routed around the edges, guys. I physically shape all the edges with either a belt sander, a orbital sander, or my spindle sander. Okay. Another thing I really liked, I think it's part of the Axiom design, is the Ocularis plug leaning to the outside of the fork. If you look carefully, you'll notice it leans outside. Makes it really easy to lock in. And of course, this is a brace design even for me, okay, with my big hands. I'm also one of these guys that placement of the lanyard is everything. As big as my hand is, you notice it covers the entire slingshot. The last thing I want is for my palm to be resting here and the lanyard hole be there at the same time. So as you can see, I put the lanyard hole on the opposite side. Now, I thought about putting it through the other direction, but those lanyards just never sit right on my wrist. I don't know why. They just don't. And this was a design I set up for me. You know, it was one I wanted to use to shoot. Goes in nice, sits nice, okay? And of course, I've set it up with Simple Shot black latex. I've also got a Rue pouch from Simple Shot on this one. And I've set it up for full butterfly, okay? I've done the test models of these, you've probably seen. There's two people that have them. Toolman Tim has the first one, and Darren Glenn Cook has the second one. They're in the brown phenolic, the reddish brown phenolic. They've since added the plugs they like to them and added the lanyard colors they like to them. That's theirs. Those Darren Glenn Cook affectionately named the Earth Tones variation. I had some red plugs and some red lanyards, so I tried the red on this. I really like it. At first I called this the 007 model, but then I thought, you know what, it's got to have an American name, so it's the Maxwell Smart model. For any of you who know, Maxwell Smart is our corny character of a spy, okay? Because, I mean, this is fun-loving. I mean, look at it. It looks like two red eyes looking back at you. But after shooting a lot of Mark Seljan slingshots, I have to give a shout out to him. It was the first all black slingshot I had ever shot. And, you know, most people, you know, is shiny, flashy, wood. We do all of that. Mark's was just plain, simple black. So, you know, and I happen to have the black latex bands and the Rue pouch at the time. And I put it all together, and when I went to shoot it, for the first time something happened that I've never had happen before with a slingshot. It completely disappeared. All I could see was the target. It's like the colors and everything didn't distract me. It just disappeared, and I was able to shoot so much more accurately. My eyesight wasn't distracted, and it's almost like my eyes could tune out the shadowy color way better than anything else. That's why I went looking long and hard to find black phenolic, okay? Because I wanted a really strong material that I was willing to work with, that came in up to 1-inch thick slabs, and that's why I have black phenolic. So my preferred option, which I don't have at the moment because as fast as I can make them, they're gone, people want them, is the all black model, which I call the Ninja model. Black Ocularis plugs from Nathan, and black lanyard just to match it, the black Simple Shot latex, which the weather I live in allows me to shoot it all year. And of course, you know, I love this shape of pouch. It's the kind of pouch I've had all my life, this kind of shape. Just a nice simple rectangle with circular ends. I'm using kangaroo leather right now, but I actually have found that I like the 3.5 to 4.5 4.5 ounce second grain cowhide, and I've got some black cowhide which I'm going to cut. I'm actually cut my pouches just a touch wider than this because I like to. I have trouble shooting half-inch marbles in this for some reason. I must not. It must be the way I set them or something. They tend to fall out, and then not necessarily fork hits, but close to fork hits. So when I started cutting mine, I cut them just a touch wider than these, and just a hair longer too. It's just what I like. Okay, so I set that up for me, and that's going to be my shooting rig, I think, for the most part from now on, guys, because I really like the shape. I really like the feel. I spent a long time developing it to work for me. I thank a lot of guys who have come before me who have a lot of influence. Their designs have had a lot of influence in this bad boy. And for those who don't know, Metrograde, Eric, there are some influences in here that are his. There's some slenderness things that don't normally, for example, a very slender neck here is something that Eric does a lot, and I really like it. It really works for my hand. So there's slenderness factors, and a lot of you are probably thinking, this guy's crazy. But you know what? Slingshot building, you can study it for days. You can study it for years and still find something new to appreciate. The finish on this thing, I learned finishing just looking at some of the stuff Can Opener does, Randy. Folks, if you want to learn anything about finishing, that man is the king of finishes. There are very few that I've seen can come close to beating him. And as of late, Lewis Pride has influenced my thought on finishes a lot more. Finishes alone are an art form. And, Lewis and I kind of feed off of each other, on finishes and how to work finishes. And we talk some whenever we get together. I'd love to sit down with Randy someday and talk a little bit too, just like I've had a chance to talk to Ray with his ray shot. I've talked to Nathan and about his designs. I've talked to Eric about his designs. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there, folks. And you start putting stuff together and you find what you like. There's only one problem. I haven't been able to keep one of these around long enough to shoot it more than a week or two, and somebody wants it. So I send it off to them, and next thing I know, I have to make another one. So this one's mine for the next few weeks until I get another one made. And once I get another one made, you can have one will be up for grabs. Now, sorry I've talked so long, guys, but I just wanted to make it very clear that this has been influenced by a lot of people, and I won't exclusively call it my design. I'll just say I put together a lot of ideas from a lot of good fine builders whose shoulders I've gotten to stand on, and I continue to support those builders, and I continue to buy stuff from those guys when they sell them. But I think I'm finally starting to settle on something I really like, and not going to help any. I'm not a very good shot, no matter how much I practice. But whatever, it's fun, and everybody talks about getting together for shooting excellence. Man, I get together to hang out with friends. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's just the way I am. Anyway, guys, tournament season starting in a few weeks, and we hope to see some of you there, and those of you who aren't there, I hope you watch some of the videos we post. Take care, all.